ZohoDay, continuation of some interviews with loyal, happy Zoho customers, hopefully happy. Well, we'll learn in a second.
We'll find out.
We'll find out, yes. And with that, without further ado, let's just get straight into it.
Yep.
Please introduce yourself. What is your company? What are you doing? Why Zoho?
Why Zoho? Keep going. Anyway, good morning. I'm Graham Dallas. I'm Business Development Manager for ABL Group. We are a group of companies. Our main business is engineering and marine consultancy services. So very heavily involved in oil and gas, renewable energy. We also work in the commercial maritime sectors. Through a whole raft of different consultancy services, from real early on advisory services right through to operations, construction, decommissioning, that kind of thing. So a real widespread range of services. Why Zoho? About last year, two groups of companies merged. So there was all of a sudden we had two groups of approximately 400 people, and we merged to a large group. And at that time, it was decided at senior management level, we need an integrated CRM that we can all utilise. We made an initial shortlist of 6, and we had a conversation with each of the vendors. We quite quickly eliminated that to 3, Zoho being one. And
Eliminated?
sorry?
You said eliminated?
Yes, we had a shortlist of 6, and then we reduced that to a shortlist of 3.
Yeah. Okay, I understood you eliminated Zoho.
No, Zoho was one of the, sorry, beg your pardon.
One of the winners. Yeah.
One of the winners, and then Brand X and Brand Y were the other 2.
Yeah.
And we went through a more in-depth conversation with the vendors themselves, and then we had a discovery session with each vendor with their implementation partners.
Okay.
Because we had quite a specific idea of how we wanted the CRM system to work. Yeah. We don't necessarily have a complex business structure, but we've got a lot of different business structures, and we wanted to have one size that would suit all the parts of the business and take everything into consideration. And through a process over a period of a couple of weeks, the 2 of us that were involved, we each made our own assumptions, and we each rated each potential vendor and implementation partner, and independently we both came to Zoho. And for a number of reasons, commercially, obviously, it had to be reasonable. We can't go in without limits. Zoho were very competitive. We just got a good feeling about the company culture. The implementation partner was a big factor in it as well. They really understood what we were trying to achieve. And we just, we're a consultancy business ourselves. Our business depends on customer relationships and trust. Yeah. And we just got that feeling of trust that we could form a partnership here, and it's a journey after all. And we selected Zoho about June time last year, so we're quite early on into our Zoho journey. So from that moment, we got all the necessary paperwork signed away, and we got allocated some licenses, and we started having some serious chats about how we want this system to be set up. And we were very transparent with the implementation partner and said, here's how we do business, here's how we are structured, here's our processes and procedures we want to follow, and we want the CRM system to follow that quite closely. And that was quite an interesting experience, and it was good to look at the Zoho process, to challenge our own processes or our own thoughts. Yeah. And we made some changes on both sides. More integration with existing systems, more Zoho apps. We're signed up to Zoho CRM Plus at the moment. So I have a dashboard with all these apps down the side that I am dying to try. But we had to rein ourselves in and say we need to get the CRM working first. Yeah. Get value from that, get buy-in from the rest of the company, get adoption up, and then we can start looking at some of these other apps which we're about to deploy very shortly, hopefully.
May I ask what the adoption is right now?
The adoption is quite good. We've got just over 200 users, and I would say the vast majority are using it regularly. I'd say sort of 80% are using it regularly. We've got differences in take-up. The 2 groups that came together, one group had a legacy CRM system, and it was quite old and clunky and quite awkward. So there was naturally a little bit of pushback because they had a bad feeling with this old system. Yeah. The other part of the business were eager because they had spreadsheets and they were struggling to build together business plans and pipelines. So a combination of that, a thing I found very easy with Zoho, going over some training and awareness sessions, is those that had reservations and pushback, it was always, this doesn't work for my business. My business is very specific. And it was very quick to say, well, we do this, 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 and this. And there would always be objections and questions. And say, well, we'll add a box here, and we'll add an extra date here, and we'll add a drop down here that you can select. And as soon as you could show that, this is easier than what you're doing at the moment. It's cleaner, and always important, you can get reporting out the further end. So once you put all your information, you've collected all your data, you get some meaningful reports out of it. And then once you've got a report, you can track it. An old mentor of mine said many years ago, if you measure it, you can improve it. So, you know, if you know what it's there, you can challenge it and improve it. So that's where we are, and it's quite exciting. Just in the process of getting analytics set up for all the senior management, so they can have their dashboard and they can look at the areas of the business under their remit, and this is live. Some of the things we did during deployment was we've got some quite complex customization on some of the modules, and we've got a couple of bespoke modules. So with that, I'm confident enough at changing things, but some of the mechanisms behind the scenes, I quite often like to just consult with them in case if I change something, what's the consequences of it? Because there's a lot going on in the background. But we've got a great relationship, and it's really working well, and we're confident going forward and getting some of these more toys. Some of the things I've seen... Toys and toy box. Tools is perhaps...
Boys and their toys,
Boys and their toys. Tools perhaps is a more professional phrase. But some of the things that we've heard about the last day, there's just even more that we could use that, and that would be great. And if we just... And if you've got all these apps built on a similar architecture and they use the same user experience, it makes adoption of these new things easy. You've used CRM, look, we're going to use this as well. It's the same. It's the same idea, it's the same flavour, it's the same feel, but it does something different. And that just makes life easy.
So, going forward, you now have a year's worth of experience with Zoho and an implementation partner. What would you think is something that you really want from them that you didn't get so far?
It's strange.
The one thing that is missing, so to say.
I struggle to come up with anything that we haven't managed to get. We've come up with some crazy ideas. Can we do this, this, and this? And the answer is usually yes. Or it's, let's go and have a think about it, and we'll consult with Zoho, and we'll have a chat. And then usually a couple of days later, right, we've got some suggestions what we can do. We can do this, this, this. We can write a bit of code or some automations, or quite often there's another app in the Zoho suite we could bring in and utilise it. So on the whole, it's always been, yes, we can do something. We can do, and we haven't had to really compromise on anything, and we've been quite demanding from our original specification of what we wanted. Because we're an engineering consultancy, we wrote a specification what we wanted from a CRM system, and that changed quickly because we started looking inside and seeing the possibilities. Again, we had to restrain ourselves a little bit because we'd agreed to scope and we'd agreed, and we had to, right, we'll do that next phase. That's the next step. And that's where we are. I really can't think of anything significant that we haven't managed to achieve.
Perfect. It can't be any better, right?
No. And it seems, I was heading out here this week, I was trying to think, I've got to have some sort of negative, I've got to have something that, could you improve this, could you do that? But I really am struggling.
From an analyst point of view, you just made me unhappy.
Even insignificant little things, I really have no negatives at all.
Well, perfect. Perfect. So this probably makes it right onto the Zoho website.
Possibly.
Well, thanks a lot for this. It was very enlightening and fun, which is important to me. These talks are fun.
Absolutely.
And pleasant. So thanks a lot.
No problem.
I hope you can enjoy the rest of this day and perhaps the outing tonight if you participate.
Yes, I'm intending being there.
Yeah, great.
Intending being there.
Then we might continue informally.
Absolutely, yes. No, I've had some great conversations this week, and I really now appreciate a lot more that we've just seen a little crack in the door of Zoho, because we are only using one app at the moment. and I was aware of a lot of them, but I've seen a lot more.
Okay, then I'm using
And
more.
it's just what can we do? What can we do?
Then I'm using more.
This is it. This is it. But I think there's a lot of things would benefit our business, but we need to do it pragmatically. You know,
It needs a plan. And
Yeah.
Well, it's a dash, consolidate, and then the
Yes.
next step. It's
Yes.
important to go that way. Else I'm consultant myself, so else the acceptance of the users will not come.
Yeah, just slowly, and the adoption builds itself as people get confident with it.
Yeah.
But it's been a good journey so far, and looking forward to what the next 3, 6, 12 months hold.
Cool.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks
Excellent.
a lot.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest
Nice
of
talking to
your stay here.
No problem. Thank you.